We're following breaking news from downtown York, where several people, including at least one firefighter, are reportedly injured after a building has collapsed.
It happened as firefighters were working inside the old Weaver building that caught fire yesterday near Broad and Walnut Streets. Fox 43's Ashley Paul live this afternoon in downtown York with the breaking details. Ashley.
Jackie and Allie, it is a bit of a hectic scene down here at Philadelphia and Broad Street. Just moments ago, the former Weaver building rekindled the fire. There were flames shooting from the roof, heavy smoke. Then just moments after that, there was another portion of the building that did collapse. Now, right after that, we did see people being pulled from the rubble. At least one firefighter was loaded into an ambulance and taken to a nearby hospital. We then soon saw several other people being pulled from the building and loaded onto stretchers, also loaded into ambulances. The entire area is now blocked off. No word now on exactly how many people were taken to the hospital or the extent of their condition. Now, right now, we still don't have a cause of this fire. We did speak with a former construction worker earlier today. He told us that the building was full of flammable materials. Now, the building was in the process of being converted into high-end luxury apartments, and he says that between sawdust and other types of chemicals that were around the building, it's no surprise that the building went up in flames as quickly and as rapidly as it did. Now, the details as to who was injured and how badly they're injured, as I mentioned before, are still a bit scarce. We don't have all those details yet. As you can see behind me, this is all just currently unfolding, but we will bring you more details as they become available. Reporting live in the city of York, I'm Ashley Paul, Fox 43 News. Evan and Allie, the press conference given by Mayor Helfrich and Chief Michaels wrapped up just under an hour ago. A few updates coming out of that press conference. First things first, there are no services planned yet for the two fallen firefighters. However, there are two vigils planned. The first one is planned for tonight at 8 o'clock. That one is put on by the residents. The second one will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. That one is put on by the Southern PA Incident Network, both of those happening right by the Good School. Now, at that press conference, they also took a moment to honor the victims that were killed in that fire, and also there are two other firefighters that are still in the hospital, and they are, quote, doing as well as expected. Now, still there are at least two families, 9 people that are displaced as a result of the collapse and fire that happened at the Weaver building the other day. They are expected to be displaced for at least a week while crews determine whether or not the scene is safe to return to. Now, today crews did develop a site safety plan. They made sure that everyone who enters the area is wearing protective gear. They also created a hard perimeter for what is and is not safe for people to enter. They also brought in some machinery. They will not say whether or not that is for demolition purposes or not, so that will be determined shortly. And we did actually head down to the site earlier today. It was relatively quiet for the most part, but we did check in to see what exactly was going on. Take a look. Amongst the remains of the Weaver organ and piano building are questions about what led to the tragedy that unfolded over the last 3 days.
Well, it's a tough site, if I may say so, with a lot of the collapse.
Part of the historic building collapsed during the fire on Wednesday night, and another piece caved in as crews worked to battle hot spots on Thursday, killing 2 firefighters and injuring 2 others.
But it's being investigated as a potential homicide. That doesn't mean there's any evidence of that. It's just whenever we have an employee, public safety person who has died on the scene, then it gets investigated.
But the events leading up to Thursday's tragedy are still unclear, and officials are remaining tight-lipped.
You know, you're talking to us in the morning after we were all up until 2 o'clock in the morning with our fallen brothers. So, no, that's not the top priority.
As for today, the scene was relatively quiet. An ATF special agent tells us they will assist in the investigation and began their part today by photographing the scene from a state police helicopter. They plan to conduct interviews and provide digital mapping to try and determine a cause. Members of nearby police and fire departments also lined the perimeter of the building to make sure no one gets too close. One member of the fire department says no one, not even officials, are permitted in the area without special permission and protective gear. He says the building is not stable and there's concern about another possible collapse. Now, the ATF agent that I spoke with said they will continue their investigation next week as soon as the scene is deemed safe to enter. Reporting live in York, I'm Ashley Paul, Fox 43 News.
All right, Ashley, thank you. Now, flags are flying at half-staff across